I'm going to tell you the mistakes I made on self improvement so that you can avoid them. And so the first one was not knowing the type of person I am. So, I was always a creative person. If you look at me, I knew editing. I could use Blender to create 3D stuff. I could write well. I was a content writer and I have wrote 3 books. And if anyone from a third perspective saw me, he would tell that I am a creative person, right? I didn't know that myself because I never paid attention to it, and because of that I was always an underachiever. So you have to know what type of person you are, because it really takes a toll to not know what type of person you are so that you can achieve things in which you are good at. Never tried to write a book for purposely. I never paid attention to it. I never tried to do stuff that helped me to make it better. I never even considered writing a book with a serious mindset, because I always thought it's just a hobby and I should not pay attention to it, and I should just pay attention to my studies. And I was a creative person, so I never got interested into studies, because except for maths there was nothing to be creative about in studies. What would I learn, and what would my creative instincts would do in history or physics or even chemistry? It's just basic stuff written on the book and you have to just absorb it and write it on the exam. It's nothing creative there. But in maths you can at least use some creativity and use different formulas, but it's just that it has a limit too. And I don't think that anyone creative would be good in studies, and even if they are not interested in that. So you have to figure out what type of person you are, because you have to know that you are missing out a lot of opportunities by missing out things that you are good at. And the second thing would be creating stereotypes for yourselves or creating excuses for yourself. Whenever we do something bad that is not good for our future self or for our present self, we create some sort of stereotype that, look, these type of people also do the same thing. But you don't understand that if you take a medicine and it has a prescription on it that it has to be taken in a gap between 2 days, and you just start to mess with it and start to take it within 1 day or just half an hour later, you will not use it optimally, or you will pretty sure just waste it, because it has certain instructions that you have to follow. You have to follow it. And when you create a stereotype, you are just doing the first thing, messing with the prescriptions. So you don't have to mess with the prescriptions, you just have to do something that is solid. When you do something bad, don't create a stereotype. Be a little bitch and accept it that I am doing something bad. Whenever you have the urge to watch porn or just fab, don't create a stereotype that it's okay to fab within 2 weeks, or it's healthy for me because there is going to come new sperms in my whatever that is. Don't create a stereotype. Accept it, admit it for yourself, and be a man and just say that you are having the urges and you are doing the bad thing. Clearly you are not doing that thing because you want your new sperm cells to be formed. You just want to do it because you have the urges. So don't lie to yourself. Just accept it. And when you start to do that, you will start being honest with yourself, and you will really make good progress in your life if you start to do that, because being honest is the first step towards making progress. How will you fix a mistake when you don't even know that you are making a mistake? Whenever you create a stereotype for yourself, let's say for example, if you are being rude to someone, don't create a stereotype that rude people are straightforward or girls like bad boys type of that stereotype. Don't create that. Just admit it that you messed up pretty bad, and you will start being honest with yourself. And whenever next time that happens, you will remember your mistake. And when you create stereotypes, your mind thinks that it is not a mistake, it is just everyone does it, so why should not I? So it's not considered a mistake by your mind. You need to understand that creating stereotypes are just ruining the lessons you can get from your mistakes. So don't create stereotypes. And the third mistake would be trusting my teachers too much, or trusting anyone above me too much. So this is something called mastership bias, and I was planning to create a separate video on this, but I thought why not just include it as a little point in it, and if you want I can create a separate video on it. So mastership bias states that not every teacher and not everyone above you tells you everything that you need to fix. Let's say for example you want to learn sword fighting and you go to a sword master. The sword master would take years to teach you everything. That's it, right? But when you realize that you have not learned everything, you will get to know that the sword master didn't tell you everything because he was too afraid to lose you as a student. He was afraid that he would lose students if he told you everything. So he intentionally hid something from you so that you can keep coming back to him. And it's just his instincts that he does that. So it's called mastership bias when not every teacher tells you everything about a certain topic, and it's just a fact. And for the YouTubers like Hamza or Chris, they do it intentionally because it is good for business. If they tell you everything in one video, it won't satisfy their channel needs, right? So it is called mastership bias. So you need to figure some things by your own too, like we YouTubers do. Like we clearly don't understand life fully, and in no sense we are some life gurus, but it's just we have this realization that if we start to figure out things by our own selves, we can sell it online. Like it's the most basic fact that learn something valuable, teach it online, and you will start a business. Business is basically giving you valuable information so that you can learn from it, and in return we can have money or views even on YouTube. So that is how mastership bias works. And if you want to learn more about it excuse me, and if you want to learn more about it, you can read it in the book Think and Grow Rich. Or if you want me to make a separate video on it, you can comment it on this video. And until then, bye.